right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, the latest physique update from Jay Cutler. This one, I think, even more impressive than the last. And the last one being the one that really stirred up a lot of the conversation. Will we see Jay compete at the Masters Mr. Olympia? Well, this physique update that he posted this time around comes from about a 35-minute long video that he actually posted on his main channel. And he hits a couple poses here, not as many poses, I think, as in that first video. And overall, I think he looks tighter here. He looks a little bit leaner. He looks a little bit crisper. And he repeatedly says in both these videos, the one that we saw before and this one, that this is just the beginning of his transformation into his 50th birthday towards the end of the year. He's 49 right now, and he's doing kind of this transformation challenge where he keeps saying he wants to get in really, really good shape by the time he turns 50, and that this is just his starting point physique, which I think is the impressive part about it. Again, he's been retired for a decade. We haven't seen him compete in a competitive bodybuilding competition as a pro since 2013. And for a guy that's almost 50, for this to be the starting point of his transformation, I think is pretty impressive. And like I said the last time this topic came up, you shouldn't expect to see, even at the end of this transformation, if he doesn't do the Masters Olympia, you shouldn't expect him to look like the Jay Cutler that we saw 10 years ago or even 15 years ago. He's had injuries. He's older. He's been away from the stage for 10 years. He's significantly lighter than he was back then. Again, like I said in the last video, that's kind of what the point of having a Masters division is. These aren't bodybuilders that are in their prime. That's why it's not open bodybuilding. So when we talk about this Masters Olympia conversation, I see a lot of comments saying, well, Jay doesn't look anything like he used to. People saying he looks bad now. I disagree. Of course he's not going to look how he used to look. But for his age, I think he looks really good. Now, towards the end of the video, like I said, it was a 35-minute video on his YouTube channel. He's walking around a supplement store kind of pointing out some of his supplements that are for sale there. And the guy at the counter asks him, he said, I saw your last physique update. I got to ask you on behalf of the whole bodybuilding industry, are you doing the Masters Olympia? And Jay says, no, but I will be there. And I'm kind of the front man for the show. And that the timing of his 50th birthday, this whole transformation thing being around the same time, the transformation ending around the same time as the Masters Olympia, just being coincidence. And he said he kind of likes to tease with these physique updates and these posing videos. But he has said already in the past that he's not going to do the Masters Olympia. There's really no incentive for him financially to do it. But I still have a feeling it's not something that's entirely impossible. The fact that he does actually confirm here that he will be in Romania, that's where the Masters Olympia is. He's going to be there in Romania for the show. And I'm not really sure what he means. He's kind of the front man for it, if he was just being facetious or not. But the fact that he's actually going to be there in Romania, I think it's actually one step further, one step closer to him potentially competing. Now, I know it seems unrealistic, but is it really? If he's at the end of his transformation around that same time, if he's in really good shape, the best he's looked, in his late 40s in recent years, would it really be pushing it that much further to just slap on some Protan and get on stage at the Masters Olympia? I actually have a feeling if he doesn't compete, when he said this thing about being the front man, I have a feeling that we might see a guest posing from Jay at a bare minimum. I have a feeling he's going to be on stage in Romania at the Masters Olympia in one way or another. I just think that timing of his 50th birthday and this big transformation that he's doing in the Masters Olympia being so close is just it's too good. It's too perfect. It's the perfect storm. And like I said in the last video, even if financially the incentive isn't there for Jay to compete, he's got to know how good of content it would be. He's already going to be dieting. He's already going to be changing his training. He's already going to be pushing it a little bit to get into the best shape of his life for 50. So it's not like he would have to put himself out there and do all those things just to compete. He's already doing them. And who's to say after months and months of him doing this transformation, if he starts to look really good and he starts to look really shredded and he's really happy with how he's looking, who's to say he couldn't change his mind and say, oh, well, maybe I'll put on some Protan, get out there. Depending on how the lineup's looking. I don't know. It's just something I think would be a really, really cool cap to the bodybuilding year. However likely or unlikely it might be, especially since he keeps saying no, he's not doing it. But again, this little Easter egg that he is going to be in Romania and he's going to be the quote-unquote front man for the show, I found it fascinating. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Would you like to see Jay Cutler come back for the Masters Olympia, yes or no? How likely or unlikely do you think it is? Let me know down below. Now, next up in the news, this weekend is the Arnold Classic Brazil, also known as the Arnold Classic South America. We've got the full competitor list finally for the men's open bodybuilding portion of that competition. So Suleiman Alterkite, Wellington Fernando Baptista Slavoj Bednar, Vitor Hugo Boff, who actually made his pro debut last year at the Arnold Classic South America. And he was in the conversation with Rafael Brandao for being the victor there, although he did not pull out the win. Alan Bonadiem, Kleber Reis da Silva, Josef Cuvetin, Emir Omaragic, Jefferson Romero, and Behrooz Tabani. So really, the three names that are standing out to me the most here, and again, we don't have Sergio Oliva Jr., Emir Omaragic, Behrooz Tabani, and Vitor Boff, to me, are the top three names that I'm seeing in this lineup. And right now, here's the latest update from Behrooz Tabani. Again, phenomenal bodybuilder. You might know him from beating Brett Wilkin at the 2022 Romania Muscle Fest. He's also coached by Milo Sarshev. Like Hadi Chupin, he's a Persian bodybuilder, and I think he really does have a fantastic physique. I think the only thing he really needs to work on is bringing up the lower body, but great V-taper. I really enjoy the flow of his physique. His conditioning is bar none. Based on this lineup, he's my pick to win this show. I'm probably going to be between him and Vitor Boff. Vitor Boff has really impressed me as of lately. But the Arnold Classic Brazil is going to be kind of the show that kicks off the competitive bodybuilding season, the 14th, 15th, and 16th this weekend. And I expect that to be a very competitive top three. And my money would probably be on those three guys, Vitor, Emir, and Behrooz, as probably being the most likely to be in that top three. Now, next up in the news, we did get an update from Akim Williams, which I thought this was interesting. He apparently got injured in a car accident over a year ago. He had a shoulder injury that he just now got repaired. He just now got surgery on, and he said in this video that while now he's recovering from the surgery, he actually competed in the last Olympia, in the last Arnold Classic, kind of competing through that shoulder injury. So even though he didn't do as good at the Olympia, he actually did a little bit better at the Arnold Classic. He was able to secure himself a top 6 finish. He was 6th at the Arnold Classic. Not bad competing through the shoulder injury, although I don't know how severe the extent of that injury was, but he says now he's recovering. It's finally been addressed, and I'm assuming that's going to be a very positive thing for him going into the 2023 season, if potentially that was something holding him back at the past 2 shows. But best of luck to Akim Williams recovering from that surgery, and I wish him a speedy recovery. Now, next up in the news, we got a recent guest posing of Samson Dauda this weekend at the Two Bros Pro Ben Weider Pro Qualifier. And I gotta say, he does really impress me. And it's for the same reason that he was in the conversation even leading up to the Olympia, leading up to the Arnold Classic. He really does carry an impressive amount of size, and that's what we saw, kind of last summer. We were talking about this prior to the Olympia. The off-season Samson Dauda, he's huge. He's weighing, like I said, 313, 315 right now. That was the last time he gave us his weight. And last summer, he was getting up to weights of like 336 or something crazy like that, even bigger than some of the weights that Big Ramy was reporting. And in this guest posing, it's the same thing. With this great structure that he has, this big frame, he carries a lot of size without sacrificing much lines or conditioning. For as big as this guy is, his waist never looks really that blown out. His structure and his proportions never really seem to suffer. While I do think his conditioning could be tighter at these bigger shows like the Olympia, for him to really crack and make a really big statement there, I do think he needs to sharpen up. For the amount of size that he carries, he really looks good with that size. Some of these guys that blow up and put on all this size, their midsections totally blow out, their structure looks off, their proportions get weird. But that's just not the case with Samson, and you can see that here. He's 1 month post-Arnold Classic. He's going to be deep into his offseason. He doesn't need to prep until the Olympia. He's qualified. He's good to go. He even said in that last post that he's going to take some time, quote-unquote, off everything. So he might even not be, quote-unquote, supplementing anything here. He's a phenomenal talent. He has all the tools to be one of the best bodybuilders in the world, and he already is. He won the Arnold Classic, but I am excited to see what he's able to do at the Olympia, because I think he was underrated going into this Arnold Classic. And you got to give credit where credit's due. He took out Nick Walker, where a lot of people thought that couldn't be done, myself included. So shout out to Samson Dauda, and I'm assuming we can expect some very big things from him at the Olympia. That's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. Just a quick one. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you like and subscribe if you did. And as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower. my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel, and consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look, and all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.